Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I have some miscellaneous elements over here. You can argue that some of these are foundational components. I have no preference in terms of how you place them or how you want to use them, but ultimately what I have here is I just have our logo that can be used in two variants. So if I have like the full logo, maybe, part of the welcome screen or something, I can easily just, make just the icon if I need to. I have avatars, whether it's for like the profile, I can swap them for like logged out versus signed in, 32 pixels versus 80 pixels. So just making some quick variants there in terms of like, imagery and size. And like I said over here, when you have this avatar, you can easily just like swap it for whatever avatar you want. So super, super helpful. And then I finally have these illustrations. So I have about 7 illustrations here that, you're not gonna have to use a bunch, but I like to use them for our cards or our onboarding screens. So if we just come over to here, to our card section, we can have them placed in a certain way where they're over here and, just easy to use like I showcased. And like, it's nice to have one that says like, your searches have no results or your delivery is on its way. So definitely just having nice little illustrations. These ones are easy to grab. All you have to do is go to your plugins, go to illustrations, and everyone should have this plugin now. And if we go all the way to Teal Doodle by Treetop, we can easily grab these ones. To be honest, it was between these icons. I like these ones. They have a pretty unique style and just, I think they kind of fit a bit. And then it was between this one. I like these ones, but they're a little silly, a little too silly. So I kind of opted not to use them. And then the other version that I was, in between was from Streamline. If I go into illustrations and go all the way to the bottom, I like these ones, the Bangalore ones. They had 40 free illustrations, which aren't loading for some reason, but you can easily just grab this. So lots of cool things. Let's see if I can grab them at 800 pixels. Here's one, kind of fitting, design thinking. And there we go. So I'm just going to close this plugin. And so you can, they come out in vectors and you can, add our colors to them. Oops, that's a little crazy. You can do that. And, they look pretty sharp, especially like when we're using like our palettes. So definitely some options there. And there's a bunch to use. There's 40, I believe. So definitely look into those options if you want to explore different illustrations. And then I have these horizontal and vertical rules. Let me tell you, these are perfect. I like to use rules in my designs. The great thing about them is, you can just place them in there. You can say, I want to give this one a 1 pixel or a 2 pixel size. I can, change the color if I need to. So really, really helpful, especially when you want to, separate content really quickly with a little line. And this is something that I was working on with, just like the general onboarding screen and, separating it in there. And I was also have them right here within the filters. So the great thing is, we do have rules over here, but by using, Figma's new feature to create like a stroke for like a container. So if I just like create like a frame like this, and this is like, say, my button container, I can, create a stroke like that. And there you go. So you don't need to always have to like put this in here in your frame. And if you're into using auto layout frames, you have to make 2 frames, one to house the content and then one to stack it, especially if the content is horizontally placed Now this would need to be stacked in another frame above it. So now I just use the borders or the stroke borders. But these are your miscellaneous elements. I mean, you can move these into your foundational, maybe the illustrations and the rules will go there, and maybe the logo, and maybe this is where you can bring avatars back out. So I like to keep them here just for now, because these are more like these kind of visual elements that we're not going to really use a lot of, more so sparingly in comparison to a lot of the other components that we have over here. But these are going to be your bread and butter for the app that we're going to finalize and use the components for.